Okay, we are going to use this break to show this video.
चलो सबरी किया था वो चल हाँ ओके
Also not required because it's a very small plot. That's why we are making bypass. We also require. Huh? That depends on the head. Height which you have to lift the water. That depends on the power of the wheel, not the horse. This is about 32-meter head pump. It can take water up to 32-meter height.
मैंने कहा ये कौन डायनेमिक्स वाला था ना खाली डायनेमिक कौन सा
बहुत दिन बाद
टू इयर्स
आज मास्क पहने VPHL के बाद मास्क
No, bro. वो प्रेशर almost one. So that is required for drip. If it would have been sprinkler, then bypass is not. They are getting interconnected. They are not wasting anything.
माइक्रो स्प्रिंकलर 40 है रेडी हाँ रेडी
Can we wait to one so we can try this to see
what प्रेशर बढ़ा के
No, not required.
No
It will come out.
okay now this is what I want
It will drip now once the pipeline will be filled up.
Okay, it's disconnected to the ground.
now the pressure is okay
So this is the emitter is of 2 liter per hour. It will give 2 liter in a hour.
this how
You can have 4 liter also.
not drip more on this yeah so 2 liters if it is a 4 liter it will drip little more depends on the if you increase the pressure little more it will drip a little more
But not too cold.
you know in my country we will put the drip in here
yeah
but you say no to put
Not the tap root, not the
This
main root, the
entire
shallow.
this thing, see, entire bed will be rigid.
regardless of the surface here and here
Inside also. The real test, this is black cotton soil. It is not breaking. If I
clay,
throw up,
right?
it is clay. It is black cotton. If it is a sandy soil, this will break.
we don't
This is the
have
traditional method.
we don't have too much of this
Yeah.
our own is plume
Lumi.
most
This is the one. This is one traditional test. No need of doing any soil analysis. You can do.
So how much are we going to do soil analysis?
Soil analysis is a scientific process which will be tested in the lab. But this test I have shown you is the traditional test with the field.
So he's the country director of Cameroon, and he is Ufa. Namaste.
Do you want to explain anything around this, Prince Justin?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The video we just watched is part of our activities to get clean water for the farmers, because one of the biggest challenge we have in Africa, especially in Cameroon, even where I'm sitting, like it's difficult for you to drink water from the pipe. So drinking water becomes an essential issue in farming, because farmers need to have a lot of water, especially with climate change. So that was part of the activity we were doing with our Indian partner, to see how we can get water, get it purified, so that the same water that is used for irrigation can be used for households. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think such activities need to be just multituted, like increased in multiply in most farms, and that can help. Thank you very much for this. If Dr. Nayal is present, Naya, to proceed with the next session. Okay, this session, okay, yeah, please, because it will be announcement in French, so you can do that, please. Thank you.
Announcement in French, Dr. Enuka.
Yes, to invite the session chair
Okay.
for biodiversity.
Yeah, so we are going to, let me open the program for today, a minute, please. So thank you very much for staying tuned to this great summit on transforming waste to wealth and circular economy practices. We are going to move on to the last session of the day. We are going to move on to the last session of the day. We are going to read out the names of the different speakers. We have Professor Ibrahim Manu. Professor Ibrahim Manu will be coming from 2 p.m. He has just mentioned that he'll be available from 2 p.m. Next on the list, we have Dr. Gedia Geneviève, Dr. Ibrahim Achille, Monsieur Tonga Marcel, Justin Ninyenga, Lucy Mumbi, Landy Lawrence, Professor Ernesto Cordera, Olivia Karp, Ushwal Amatia, John Ignatius Nji, and Juget Juskawu just spoke. So we are going to, we mustn't respect the order of the names as I mentioned, but we are going to be talking the main theme of this last session of the Cameroon Global South Summit is strengthening climate resilience and biodiversity conservation. Remember, it's the last session of the summit, and it is often said that the last day is always the best because it carries all the surprises, all the networking opportunities, and many other things. So you stay tuned as speakers will be coming up. So if you are a speaker of this event, you have something to share, you can just private chat me in the message toolbox, without which we're going to call on. I don't know if Dr. Gsfn is available to speak. Dr. Gsfn, on va avancer à la dernière session de cette Global South Summit qui parle de Transforming Waste to Wealth. Donc, si vous êtes censé les présenter, vous pouvez indiquer dans le chat box. If not, Ambassador Justine from State of African Diaspora can take the lead to start this session. Prince Justine, I don't know if Ambassador from State of African Diaspora is available.
Let me check with him.
Just a second. We expect Professor Ibrahim to be here at 2 o'clock.
Yes,
And
sure.
I think Tanga Marcel has another presentation in this session as well. So
Yeah, he does.
if he can come join us, that would be great. And is Ernesto here? I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see Ernesto. Ujjwal, are you there? Yes, Ujjwal is there. Maybe we invite Ujjwal because he has to leave soon, isn't it?
I already finished my meeting and I already finished my meeting. Yeah. I just came back from the meeting. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you are available.
So I can be here. So let's have other presenter. Then I can present here.
No, because we have a gap, so we can go with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So shall I start?
Yes, please.
So how much time do I have? Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, feel free to have 15 minutes. We can
Okay. Because we have a list of speakers, so I don't want to take more time. So every get opportunity. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Naya, and thank you,
welcome.
Dr.
Please start.
Thank you, Dr. Naya, and thank you, Dr. Renuka.
Record.
So it's been a great. Yeah.
Dr. Renuka, don't forget to record.
Okay, no problem. So it's been a great pleasure, and thank you very much, Dr. Renuka, for starting this platform. So last year we also had several summit starting from Pakistan to Nepal. So this is starting with Cameroon. So it is a good platform and good opportunity. And thank you for leading, Dr. Renuka, and thank you, Cameroon team, for organizing this very wonderful event. So I have been regularly participating in African events. So I also knew a little bit more about the context of Africa as well. So in regards to my background, so my name is Ujjwal Mate. So I'm from Nepal, Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. So I'm a forester. I studied forestry and practicing forestry still, and a permaculturist. So right now I'm also involved in this climate crisis movement in Nepal. So in core team as well. So as per the topic, so today I'm going to discuss and present about the biodiversity. So sharing my experience and what we are doing in Nepal and what other countries doing in biodiversity conservation. So that is my topic. So I will start with a few background, and I have my presentation. So I'll share my screen with my presentation. So as you know, like the recent days, there are two very important hot topics. One is about climate change, and one is about the biodiversity loss. So most people talk about the climate change, but still missing about talking about the biodiversity loss. So as you know, like we are having like a big issue of biodiversity loss all over the world because of our interventions and because of climate change and several issues. So right now, if you talk about the climate change, so it is somehow depressing as well. So when we talk in Nepal, everybody talking about the climate change, climate crisis. So we're not having rain in Nepal. We're talking about the melting of snow, a glacier lake outburst, a disaster, forest fire, everywhere, like rising of sea level. So wherever I go, everywhere we're talking about climate change, and it is somehow making depressing, and it's depressing as well. So this year, like no, like we don't have enough snowfall in the mountain. We don't have a rain. So farmers are worried. So for the crops, that is depressing for them, and it's giving tension. So it's also impacting the mental health. And as you know that no, like we're talking about the circular economy, we're talking about carbon as well. So as per the reference, so like no, every year we are making like 10 gigaton of carbon every year, every in the atmosphere. So it is only like the tree as a forest, they soak, they seek they absorb the carbon. So if we talk about the biodiversity, so this planet is not only of human being, not only for us, it's all of others, animals, other living beings as well. So it doesn't belong to us and us only. So you see, like currently the biodiversity damaging, so it's a time to repair. So we have to repair this biodiversity loss. So if you talk about in Nepal, like no Nepal, like we have a range from tropical to higher temperate. So we have a altitude from 100 meter to 8,840 meters. So the Everest. So you see, like we have a huge diversity in geography, and based on that, we have huge diversity in flora and fauna as well, and it is being depleting now. So it is being impacted with different issues. So we have to repair in Africa also. I think Cameroon also it may be issue like same. So we must need to bring our ecosystem back. So the native ecosystem is very important for us, that we need to bring back. And as you know, like we are doing more agriculture. We are cutting trees. We are demolishing forest, and we are increasing the agricultural land, and we are doing more monoculture. So we need to stop this monoculture. We need to focus on permaculture. So that I'll come later in my presentation. And in regards to biodiversity contribution, we'll talk about digital platform as well. So now we need to use AI and machine intelligence. So that is very important for nowadays, because with the traditional method, traditional technology, we can't cover everything. So with this background, I just want to start my presentation. So I will share my screen. Let me check, where is it? It's a few minutes. Just 1 minute, sorry. So can you see my screen?
Screen.
Can you share? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, as well, I can see your screen.
Okay, so my title would be like biodiversity, our strong natural defense system. So biodiversity is a strong natural defense system for us. So with the background, before also one of the ladies, she shared about what is biodiversity. So just go very quickly. So biodiversity is a way of life. It includes different things. It includes plants, animal, ecosystems, microorganisms, wildlife, everything. So and the biodiversity is very important to function for the human well-being. So that is a little bit background with the biodiversity. And it provides essential ecosystems like for pollinations, water management, clean air. So these are some of the benefit of the biodiversity, and it also supports for agriculture and livestock. And as I share you, there are threat of biodiversity now. So it is more with the human activities. It is because of us. So it is our biodiversity threatened. So mostly with the deforestation, You see, like we are cutting trees, and we are making more pollution in water, pollution everywhere in sea. The sea are polluted, air is polluted, and over exploitation of natural resources. So we want to exploit more natural resources. That is happening in Africa as well, and definitely climate change. So it is impacting the threat to biodiversity. And next is like invasion of species as well. So in Nepal, like I give some example, like like in Nepal we used to see a lot of natural like local fish, but now we don't see. So now there is a mutation, and we are seeing different varieties of fishes, insects, plants. So it's like some kind of like it is not native, so it's more invasion. So in forest also we are having different what you say, like wild plants that is damaging our forest. So we're seeing those things. And habitat destruction. So because of human interference, so we are losing the habitat of, especially for wildlife, flora, fauna. And so that's a major threat of the biodiversity. And even with the climate change, it is impacting a lot. And climate change and biodiversity, it has a very good interlink. It's a very important and crucial interlink. So biodiversity plays a very important role to mitigate and to adapt the climate change. So if there is no biodiversity, if we don't have enough biodiversity, it will impact in climate, weather, everything. So that's the one thing. And if we have a very good biodiversity, so that will help to sequester, to absorb the carbon dioxide. So it means like if you have a good forest, if you have good water resources, if you have good diversified, good agriculture, then definitely more with the permaculture, I think I'm talking about permaculture. So it will also absorbs the carbons. And I just want to share some of the efforts that we are doing in Nepal. So, and Africa also definitely we are doing. So we're talking about ecological before the earlier presentation. So in Nepal we are promoting agro biodiversity. So it's mostly focused on permaculture. So we are doing intercropping. We are trying to increase the soil fertility and pest control with the local species, not using the chemical fertilizers. And we are trying to plant the crop resilient species, and even with the livestock as well. So we are trying to have local livestock, local varieties, not like exported ones. So we use the local varieties of livestock, and even like we are promoting more composting, permaculture practices. So, and we are also decreasing the monoculture and promoting permaculture. So that's we are doing more on agriculture. So I don't want to go with each topic. So we can discuss a lot in different aspects of this agro biodiversity. And next we are doing is more about, we're focusing on forest diversity. The forest is the important aspect. If you see, like the forests are not managed well, so there are a lot of techniques that we can manage forests. So here what we are encouraging, like we are encouraging more like native species. It's like more like ethnoforestry. So we are not trying to bring the exotic species. So we have very bad experience of bringing exotic species. So we are trying to focus more on native species. We are planting and promoting native species. That is very important for biodiversity conservation. And agroforestry, definitely one of our presenters already talked about agroforestry. So that is a very good practice for biodiversity conservation. And community forestry. I know that in Cameroon also you are practicing community forestry. In Nepal we have community forestry, we have family forestry, we have forest, religious forest, we have family forest. So that's how we are managing our forest, and that's how we are conserving the forest diversity. And in Nepal, like we have established a lot of protected areas, national park, wildlife reserves, so, and conservation areas. And also we are also like working on the buffer zone areas. So because there is conflict between human and wildlife, so we're also working on that, because if there is a more pressure of wildlife, so there is a pressure by human to the wildlife as well. So we are working on that. And promoting ecotourism. So it's forest-based ecotourism, so that we are promoting, especially for biodiversity. And we are also safeguarding and protecting the biodiversity hotspot, like especially for like vultures or bears or rhinoceros, tigers. So that's what we are doing in Nepal. So I don't want to go in detail with each topic, so we can discuss later. And especially while working with the school children, this is a very good approach. So we are having citizen science, especially with the schools, and they collect the data, they collect informations, and they also work, they also involve in a dialogues. We say sambat in local language. We do dialogues with school children, and they also do awareness activities. So they are the one who is leading, especially with the school children. So we are building awareness about biodiversity conservation, and we are making citizen science, and we are making them as climate champions or biodiversity champions. As I said, they're similarly linked with the citizen science. So we are doing biodiversity educations and outreaches, especially with the kids, adolescents, girls and boys. And also we are educating different policy makers. So with the local governments, world level, community levels, peoples. So we are doing awareness education to them as well, and promoting and letting them know about the importance of biodiversity. So that is very important for us. And what we realized now, like we also need to, because we are also doing some in traditional way and biodiversity conservation. So now we are thinking, and we need to think. This may be applicable for Cameroon as well, like using a different like mobile applications. So we can develop some apps. We can apps so that can be used for reporting on like species sighting or illegal hunting, tradings of wildlife, and also early warnings like similar disaster preparedness. So we also can establish or start like early warning systems, so that will treat to biodiversity. And drones. So we also planning to work on the drones. So how we can use drones, small drones, to monitor the different activities, illegal activities, and to monitor the biodiversity as well. And in future, like now AI is getting very popular. So I think we also need to use AI applications to identify species or habitat modeling or analyzing large database for AI and camera traps, so that can link with the AI that we can do. And definitely now the online platform is growing, so that is very helpful. So we can develop different website. We can do campaign in social medias that we are also doing, and you can develop virtual learning tools for biodiversity conservation and e-learning. So this can be some of the few approaches that we can do in the future. And some has already started, but we need to do more in scientific way. So this can be some approach. And in conclusion, so as I shared earlier, so biodiversity is a foundation of our life. So it provides like essential ecosystem services, and it is important to preserve our culture, to preserve our nature and humanity. That's very important. So next is like protect and conserve biodiversity is a shared responsibility that requires collective action. So it means like we need to work together. So if there is some impact in Africa, it will also come to Nepal as well, or Asia as well. So we need to think on that, like how we can conserve biodiversity at local level, national level, and global level. And definitely we need to value add biodiversity, and with preserving biodiversity, we can think about the healthier future, healthier planet for our future generations. So that's why like biodiversity plays very important role to save our planet. So definitely, like if we don't conserve biodiversity, it will definitely impact climate change. It is very good correlation. It has correlation between climate change and biodiversity. So we need to think now and act now, and we should think on conserving biodiversity for the future. So that is from my side. So if you have any question, any comments, please let me know. And in future also we can talk more about, because it is a little bit broader, but we can talk specifically as what we do in ethnoforestry, or what we do in community forestry, in permaculture, what we are doing. So we can talk specifically in future as well. So it's a little bit broader. So it is some of the practice that we are doing, and that's with some experience regarding this biodiversity conservation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we should be listening more about the community management in forestry, like joint management of government and community, how government invited community to be part of their management and preserve these. It is an unique example which has been really successful in Nepal. And it has been now implemented in other parts of the world as well, but I think Nepal is leading on that, and we should be following those examples. So thank you very much for sharing this your presentation, and those who want to connect with Ujjwal individually to know more how it can be done and so on, please do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Renuka. Thank you. So we can talk later on. Actually, I have got a print on community forestry as last time I did in Nigeria, actually, yeah, for the community forestry. So today we are focused on biodiversity. So I can also share that in future, yeah.
Thank you very much, Uchwa, for the wonderful presentation on biodiversity, telling us that biodiversity is the foundation of life. That's a good take-home message. Biodiversity is the foundation of life. So still on climate change, we are going to call on Dr. Genevieve from Chong to present to us her work on climate change. Dr. Genevieve, vous avez la parole.
Merci, Madame la modératrice, de me passer la parole. Chers panélistes, bon après-midi. Je vais vous entretenir sur les changements climatiques, leurs causes et leur impact sur l'environnement et sur la vie des populations. Ce travail sera vous présenté suivant le plan ci-contre. Nous aurons en 1 l'introduction, en 2 les causes du changement climatique, en 3 les origines des gaz à effet de serre dans les changements climatiques. En 4, nous aurons les impacts des changements climatiques sur l'environnement et sur la population. Et en 5, nous aurons la conclusion. En guise d'introduction, nous disons que depuis de nombreuses décennies, le monde subit des changements climatiques caractérisés par des hautes températures, des fortes précipitations, l'augmentation du niveau des mers, des inondations, la désertification, qui impactent non seulement sur l'environnement, mais également sur la vie des populations et les productions animales et végétales.
S'il vous plaît, allez doucement pour que je puisse résumer en anglais.
D'accord, je vais reprendre. Merci, Madame, de me passer la parole. Bon après-midi à tous les panélistes.
Good day to all the participants.
Dans le thème dont j'ai l'honneur de présenter est intitulé « Les changements climatiques, leurs causes et leurs impacts ».
I'll be presenting on climate change, their causes and consequences.
Et le travail vous sera présenté suivant le plan ci-contre. En 1, nous aurons l'introduction. En 2, nous aurons les causes des changements climatiques. En 3, nous aurons l'origine des gaz à effet de serre et leurs responsabilités dans les changements climatiques. En 4, nous aurons l'impact du changement climatique sur l'environnement et la population. Et en 5, nous aurons la conclusion.
So we are going to present, following this plan, introduction, causes of climate change, origin of emissions and responsibilities in climate change, the impact of climate change on the environment and population, and lastly, we are going to conclude.
Puis le temps faisant défaut, en guise d'introduction, nous dirons simplement que depuis de nombreuses décennies, le monde entier souffre des changements climatiques caractérisés par la haute des températures, par les hautes températures et des fortes précipitations. Il en est de même pour l'augmentation du niveau de mer, les inondations, la désertification, qui impactent non seulement sur l'environnement, mais également sur la vie humaine et les productions végétales et animales.
Dr. Renuka, please kindly share the work. At an introductory level, from time immemorial, the world has been suffering from the daunting effects of climate change characterized by hot temperature, increase in the level of the sea level has increased, floods and desertification. which has affected animal and vegetable production.
Ce travail a pour objectif général d'apporter des connaissances sur les changements climatiques et leur impact sur l'environnement et la vie des populations.
We are the level of objectives. Il faut continuer, je vais résumer après.
OK. Je disais, comme objectif général de ce travail, nous allons contribuer à apporter des connaissances sur les changements climatiques et leur impact sur l'environnement et la vie des populations. Comme objectif...
General objective, we are going to have a general knowledge on climate change and its impact on the environment.
Comme objectif spécifique, nous aurons à déterminer les causes des changements
The
climatiques.
slides are changing by itself. Is it the right slide?
No, we are at the level of objectives.
Okay.
Il faut continuer.
OK. Donc, j'ai déjà énoncé l'objectif général qui était d'apporter les connaissances sur les changements climatiques et leur impact sur l'environnement. Comme objectif spécifique, nous allons déterminer les causes des changements climatiques, déterminer les impacts des changements climatiques, l'origine des gaz à effet de serre et énumérer les impacts des changements climatiques sur la vie humaine.
So specifically, we're going to determine the causes of climate change, the origin of emissions, and we are going to enumerate the impact of climate change on human life.
Lorsqu'on parle des changements climatiques, cela implique plusieurs terminologies. D'aucuns parlent de réchauffement climatique, d'autres de dérèglement climatique. Qu'en est-il en fait? Le changement climatique fait référence à l'ensemble des modifications à long terme des températures, des précipitations moyennes de la Terre, ainsi qu'à leur impact sur les écosystèmes, les sociétés et les économies.
Climate change, generally we talk of the general modification of the earth temperature, precipitation, and precipitation.
Quelles sont alors les causes des changements climatiques?
Hello. Wait a second. I will have to share it again because it is on automatic transition. So it changes the slides automatically. So I will have to control in other way.
Okay.
So I will do this way.
You know why she gets it up?
Okay. Now we are here, right? On this one?
Yes.
Okay, please
Oui.
go.
Les causes des changements climatiques sont les émissions de gaz à effet de serre dans l'atmosphère, notamment le dioxyde de carbone, le méthane, l'oxyde de nitreux et autres gaz, notamment les gaz fluorés. Ces gaz à effet de serre contribuent à diminuer la couche d'ozone de l'atmosphère, conduisant au réchauffement climatique.
We see that generally the climate change is caused by emission of gas in the atmosphere, specifically carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide also, which affects the atmosphere.
Et ces gaz à effet de serre sont notamment le CO2, le méthane, le dioxyde de carbone, les gaz fluorés. Et d'où proviennent ces gaz à effet de serre? Ces gaz proviennent surtout des activités humaines, telles que le transport. Le CO2 contribue à l'ordre à l'ordre de 76% dans l'atmosphère. Le méthane, quant à lui, contribue à l'ordre de 16%. Et les gaz fluorés à l'ordre de 2%. Et toutes ces émissions de gaz sont dues aux différentes activités humaines.
So we see that the different gas that affect the atmosphere, we have carbon dioxide, methane. They all they come as a result of human, some of it come from carbon dioxide from vehicles, and it affects the human nature.
Donc, les gaz à effet de serre, suivant ce que nous montre le schéma ci-dessus, proviennent alors majoritairement des activités humaines telles que la combustion des combustibles fossiles et l'agriculture intensive, les pratiques d'élevage et agricole non durables. Bon, ainsi élucider les causes de ces changements climatiques. Quels sont donc les impacts des changements climatiques?
So with all these
travers-
different gaseous action that we have seen from, from carbon dioxide, CO2, we ask the question that what actually is the causes of this climate change?
Oui, le schéma ci-dessus montre que les changements climatiques sont au centre de nombreux enjeux cruciaux. Lorsqu'il y a désertification, cela entraîne la déforestation, la perte de la biodiversité et il y a un impact direct sur l'approvisionnement en ressources végétales. Il y a pollution de l'air, il y a pollution de l'eau. Ainsi, il y a manque de nourriture sur la table des populations. Il y a le manque d'eau et l'atmosphère se trouve également polluée. Donc,
So
le réchauffement...
With all these things, we see that it affects, it affects the food consumption, it affects the water, and the human beings, we find ourselves in a very challenging situation because of the impacts of climate change.
Ainsi donc, le changement climatique impacte les températures, donc augmente la température moyenne de la Terre, modifie les régimes de
the world's
précipitation,
temperature,
modifie les précipitations, entraînant la sécheresse ou les inondations. Ça affecte également les écosystèmes.
it affects the ecosystem.
Oui, cause des maladies liées aux chaleurs, aux inondations, entraîne la perte de productivité, que
and
ce
loss
soit au
of
niveau local
productivity,
ou animal.
agricultural or animal productivity.
Ainsi donc, au niveau des productions animales et végétales, la
At the
variation des
level of animal
températures,
vegetation,
la variation des températures des précipitations perturbe le cycle biologique de la croissance des plantes et affecte le rendement. L'alimentation étant le facteur des productions animales, cela affecte également les productions animales. La sécheresse et les inondations détruisent les cultures et affectent également les productions agricoles. La
variation of temperatures and precipitation affect biological cycle and the growth of plants, and also affect, production. The dryness, sécheresse and flood, it destroys culture and affects agricultural production as well.
Donc, avec les changements climatiques, on assiste également à la perte de la biodiversité. Il y a des espèces des espèces végétales et animales qui disparaissent.
So there are some vegetable and animal species that disappears because of climate change.
Donc, les changements climatiques favorisent également la propagation des maladies et des ravageurs qui affectent les cultures.
Climate change also affects, production of some species and, cultures generally.
L'élévation du niveau de mer
At the level of the sea,
entraîne
level
les
increases.
érosions des sols, avec pour conséquence la perte de la terre arable, et ce qui affecte également la sécurité alimentaire.
So we have elevation at the level of the sea, soil erosion that leads to the loss of land and affects food security.
En guise de conclusion, nous disons que les changements climatiques sont liés aux émissions dans l'atmosphère des gaz à effet de serre et impactent non seulement les productions animales et végétales, mais également les écosystèmes, la biodiversité et la santé humaine. Il devient donc très urgent de mener des actions visant à réduire la production des gaz à effet de serre et atténuer les changements climatiques, notamment à travers le reboisement, l'introduction des espèces animales et végétales résilientes au changement climatique, la pratique agricole durable. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
We say that climate change is linked, is due to the cause of, emission of gas into the atmosphere from human activities and other economic activities. We have deforestation and many other things that causes pollution to the atmosphere. And the impact does not only affect animal production and vegetable production, but it affects the ecosystem and biodiversity and equally human health. So it is therefore very important to, come out with actions that will lead to the reduction of production of gas into the atmosphere and come out with also, encourage production, agricultural production that are climate resilient and also will protect our environment from the effects of climate change. Thank you so much for your keen attention. So that was that from Dr. Geneviève from University of Chang. Merci bien, Dr. Geneviève. Merci à tous nos participants de l'expression française. Thanks to all our participants from all over the world. Thanks to our French, those from France, our French speakers, English speakers, those who express themselves in Swahili, those from India, those from China. You are welcome and thank you so much for following. That was a presentation on climate change by Dr. Geneviève. So that was good, Dr. Gedia. Merci beaucoup. We don't know if there are any questions. Je ne sais pas s'il y a les questions. If you followed up with the presentation, you have a question, a contribution, or a remark, you are free. The floor is given to whoever wants. If we don't have a question or a remark, I think Sir Vinod is going to come again with another presentation still on biodiversity and climate change. Vinod, you have the floor. Welcome once more for gracing this our event. Ujwal, you have something to say? You're muted, Ujwal.
No, not now, not now. Not now. I'm listening.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just reading in the transcript also. I'm reading over there also. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Vinod, you have the floor.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everybody. Just
evening.
1 sec, please.
Vinod, someone has Christian Matamala. You have something to say? Okay, Vinod, go ahead.
Just give me a minute, please.
That's okay.
Yeah, hello. Sorry for that. So I've been, can you all hear me?
Yes, Vinod, you're heard.
So I've been listening to all the speakers and the questions which have been asked, as well as the questions which are there on the chat. I must say, I'm extremely impressed with the seriousness that everybody has taken in the last 2 days, yesterday and today. And the quality of the sessions that have been conducted have been excellent. I'm very happy to note that almost all of us agree that the time is now for ensuring that we are able to stop and reverse the negative effects of climate change. We are all aware that it is essentially the human activity that has brought us to this situation. And it is now up to us humans to take the step forward to reduce and reverse the effects of climate change. We have discussed in depth what all can be done. Just to recap, we are looking at waste management in terms, particularly in terms of plastic waste. We are looking in terms of afforestation and reforestation. We are looking at collecting organic waste from forests, converting that into either briquettes or biochar. We are looking at renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydro projects. We are looking at conservation of water bodies because water is the most essential commodity for life after air. And if neither are there, then obviously life on Earth as we know it cannot exist. Another important part which we touched upon briefly in the last 2 days was that the need for participation of the community at large. Here I'm referring to students, and this presents a good opportunity for us to come together to offer courses in universities, let's say undergraduate universities, undergraduate students, and train them on sustainability. What are the various options that are available to them today? What can be done with regard to the various sustainable measures, be it renewable energy, waste management, plastic, rubber tire recycling, solar, wind, forestation and afforestation, hydroponic farming or vertical farming, and so on. Things like building management solutions where you use IoT sensors to reduce the power consumption in city life. How can we use, like we talk about smart cities, how do we make our villages also smart villages? How can we improve the cattle feed and therefore reduce the methane emission from our cattle? So there are many, many measures that can be taken. And one of the best ways is to reach the audience or to reach our segment children at a young age. So what I am therefore proposing is that we work together to come out with a syllabus or a curriculum which can be implemented across Africa in many of the countries, many of the schools and universities where we train students at a young age. If we are able to get the younger generation part of this movement, then we are securing their future. If we are able to educate them on the need to reduce things like plastic waste or wasteful usage of electricity, then we are securing their future. So if the goal is to secure the future of our children, we need to educate them on the need on not to repeat the mistakes that our generation and the generation before us has made in our race towards development. Things like development in cities, building of huge office complexes, large malls cannot be avoided. But even cement industries can, by minor changes in their composition of the input that they use to make cement, by increasing the percentage of ash, for example, they can reduce the carbon emission. Or there are methods by which a cement industry or cement factory to reduce its own emission can go in for an afforestation project, which means they're also generating employment among the local population. So there are a number of ways and means we need to look at. We have already discussed in depth through many speakers the many opportunities that are presented, but I think we need to start catch them young, as they say, and therefore our focus also needs to be in the education sector. What I'm proposing, therefore, is that we work towards developing a curriculum which can become part of the current education system, which is focused entirely on climate change, on sustainability measures. This will also allow people who are looking for jobs in this sector to get the necessary qualifications to improve their employability. So as an organization, we would definitely like to be part of this. And I can assure you that we will be more than ready to support any such initiative in whatever way we can, whether it is designing the curriculum, whether it is training the trainers, whether it is conducting physical in-house lectures to schools, universities, students, communities. We are open to doing that. Once again, I thank all of you for spending the time yesterday and today, for the speakers, for the audience, for people who were participating. It's been a very interesting 2 days, and I hope we have many more such meetings. And I hope that whatever has been discussed gets implemented on the ground. One thing is to talk about it, the second is to execute. And that is the challenging part. And I really hope that all of us, get our act together and we put the last 2 days into a practical implementation. Yes, Ujjwal, you had something to say.
I just want to add, like as you said, that the syllabus. So in Nepal also we are working with this, especially with adolescents, children, and we have developed some syllabus. So especially we say dialogue sessions. So when you come to Nepal, we can discuss on that as well. So we have developed some model, especially for the school children regarding the building awareness on climate, as you said, citizen science and outreach education. So we have developed some manual, so we can discuss on that when you come to Nepal. Yeah.
So once again, thanks, Dr. Renuka and everybody for organizing this 2-day workshop. And it's been a wonderful comparing session. So it's, you have ensured that not one of us gets left out or not one of us gets bored during the session, Naya. You've done an excellent job. And I must say, I'm really very impressed with the way you handled the last 2 days. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Vinod. Yes, Dr. Renuka, you're welcome.
So we know then, Ujjwal, stay until end.
Yes.
Yeah, I will stay until the end. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
They're actually great partners. And it's been nice having everyone here. Everyone has, played a very important role to the success of this summit. We are not yet at the end. We still have a way to go. And we have other speakers. I don't know if Ambassador Justine.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes, we know you have the floor.
So one of the major challenges in getting a carbon project approved is the cost of the project. The project as such is very lengthy. First, you collect the data, then you make it into what is called a PDD or a project descriptive document, which is a 60 to 80 page document based on the data provided. Then this document is sent to a registry, which could be Vera, Gold Standard, ONCRA, UCR. So many registries are there globally. The registry then sends it to a third-party auditor. Now, the third-party auditor will first verify the document for accuracy, and then they do a physical visit. These visits are extremely expensive. They can cost anywhere like $20,000 for one visit, and it's done on a yearly basis. So that is where people get reluctant to go into the carbon credit projects because of the cost involved. Now, we have been talking about circular economy. I've heard that mentioned many times. What we are trying to do is to use AI and blockchain into the system so that the need for a third-party auditor is eliminated. That brings down the initial investment in getting your projects approved. Once this is done, maybe in the next 6 to 8 months, what we want to propose is that if I take Cameroon, for example, as a country, any carbon credit that is developed within the country of Cameroon can be sold only within Cameroon itself, or it can be sold within the African Union. We are proposing something similar to Nepal when we meet this time. The reason being, in the last COP29, which was conducted in Azerbaijan, there was a lot of debate and discussion as to why should the carbon credits generated in Africa by afforestation projects benefit European companies, which are major polluters. And that's very logical. So what we are trying to do is anything developed within Africa should benefit Africa. It should not benefit anybody else. Because the effort that goes into an afforestation project or goes into a plastic recycling project or any kind of project where you can generate carbon credits or plastic credits or water credits is humongous. And as one of the people ahead before when I was speaking, mentioned what is the revenue share that goes down to the community, it's a valid point. Everybody needs to get their reward and recognition. And that is where a circular economy of the kind that we are working on or we are discussing now will play a very major role in the coming months. So thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. We have a speaker ready. So is that okay if we move to the speaker?
Yeah, I think Ujjwal has a question.
Okay.
I have give a thumbs up for you.
Oh, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I can't
Good.
see
Yeah.
without my glasses there. Okay.
All right. Shall we move to the inviting the speaker now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Naya.
Yes, thank you very much. We don't know if Professor Ibrahim.
No, yeah, Professor Ibrahim, if he's ready, but Marshall has said that he is ready and he wants to present.
Ibrahim, while waiting for him, Monsieur Marcel from Lead, Cameroon. Lead is an international organization. They are based in the US and they have branches in all the countries of the world. So Marcel Tonga is representing Lead Cameroon in this Global South Summit caption Transforming Waste to Wealth. So he will be coming now to speak on strengthening climate resilience and biodiversity. We will be speaking now
once more.
Dr. Renuka, this is not the... I just sent you the PowerPoint to be presenting on ecology and economy in Cameroon.
Is it not this one?
No.
I sent this one to Dr. Remuka.
So which one you want me to share?
Yeah, it's this one.
This one, okay.
Yeah.
It's good. So, Mr. Marcel, you have the floor. Vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup. Good evening, good afternoon once more. And it has been a pleasure to participate in this summit with you. But now we have to discuss about the strengthening climate resilience and biodiversity, how they used to manage it, the case in Cameroon. By an introduction, climate resilience, what it means, what the approach of resilience, the 5 pillars of climate resilience. At the end, I have to share with you the example what we are carrying on the project in what we call in Bogo Community Project. That the strengthening climate resilience aim to support government of developing country and providing of development of cooperation in strengthening the resilience of human and natural system and the impact of climate change. You see some pictures. The island tree overall consideration to help ensure planning and implementation of action to enhance climate resilience, also support border sustainable development objective. It further outlined 4 mechanisms that can facilitate a focus on climate resilience in national, sub-regional, and sectorial policy process, and 3 keys enabled to strengthen climate resilience. Climate resilience, first of all, the term resilience refers to the preventive and reactive capacity of social, economic, and environmental system to resist or absorb the hazardous event, trend to disturbance, responding in the way of maintain their essential function, identify and structure while also maintaining the capacity to reorganize through learning, adaptation, and transformation. As such, it is multi-faced term like to governance, social, economy, and environmental structure, as well as other drives of vulnerability that all influence to the resilience of the society. Resilience must therefore form an integral part of national and sub-national development strategy. You see up here the picture of a woman try to find water. No, up there, up slide. Okay, a woman there try to find water. It's difficult to mention, but it's a reality in somewhere on the planet. And down there in the forest, somebody have managed his land and he's managed his party where he can gather some friends for enjoyment. Okay. Go down. Okay. Climate resilience is a component of the modern concept of resilience. As I say, refer to human and natural system to learn, adapt, and transform. And there is a climate risk. The presenter already said it, that a climate risk will affect a various systems and expose human, natural, and infrastructure system to those hazards, and the system of vulnerability that is sensitive to susceptibility to hazard. With the strengthening climate resilience, people and community will also be more resilient to other type of risk. For instance, those that are economic or health related in nature. The other slide. Okay, the approach of resilience. The key approach of strengthening climate resilience is climate change adaptation. This is proposed of adjustment of human and natural system to actual and expected adverse effect of climate variability and change. Distinction can be made between incremental or transformational adaptation. Incremental adaptation maintains the essence of integrity of the system or process as given. Example including adjustment in the household tools to more climate resilience crops and the development of enforcement of land use management regulation, as well as introduction of early warning system. While transformation adaptation change refer to the fundamental attribute of social ecological system in anticipation of climate change and its impact, when incremental adaptation is not sufficient for managing climate risk. Approach of strengthening resilience, or like that. But there are what we call a pillar of climate resilience. The first one is the threshold capacity, the coping capacity, the recovering capacity, adaptive capacity, and transformative capacity. We are, for 1 year now, we are developing in Mbogo community in the far north region of Cameroon, a climate resilience and biodiversity project. And that project aims to support a restoration of the ecosystem and increasing resilience of ecosystem and villages in Bogo community through reforestation and multi-purpose trees and support of their emergence of the sector of local plant species, some as what we call baobab, apple trees, mango trees, and tamarian trees. All those species are multi-use species who aim to increase some kind of facilities. They can use it for food, they can use for health, they can use for different things. Okay, and the project have four main axes: reinforcing 500 and 700 hectares of OHAC, and strengthen the capacity of producer of those species in the local area, and support producer in their structure, organizing the management of their farms. And the last one is to help producer in the processing and marketing of the agricultural products from their farms and setup. The realization of this project is allowed to increase local economy by producing several speculation, fight against rural exodus and poverty, to improve the local microclimate by planting trees, to arouse new vocational for the creation of wealth by agroforestry operation in the district and beyond. The expected result, the present now, is first of all to start by at least 50 hectares of soil are restored by cultivating these products, improving the income of agroforestry operators in Bogo, creating of market center in of those species that have to be produced, curbing in less of an rural exodus of all young people who will be involved in the project, and the creation of healthy emulation with a review to setting up medium of large agroforestry farm in the district. Here is the picture of the gathering of people participate on the meeting of sensitization. Thank you for that one, is what I can present about climate resilience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very excellent and very practical example you have shared. And I think you have achieved a lot through this project. May I understand, how did you go about, first of all, buying the community for such project? Buy-in, I mean, how the community was happy. How did you encourage community to join you? And the second, how did you get the funds?
Okay, first of all, through the council, we were in partner with the council, and the council helped us to identify those who can work on the nursery of the plant. And we train a community, local community people who nurse the plant themselves. And secondly, we sensitize, let's say, a local population to plant those trees in their own area. We are just starting the project, and a government have given us a path to start the project, Cameroon government, and we are going on it now.
So how many areas are you going to now start? How many areas you will cover more now?
We have to cover 50 hectares from now, and the expectation is to go to about 500 or 700.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations. Ujjwal has a question.
Yeah, I have a question and some comments as well. So, Marcel, actually, it was a very good presentation. So I like the concept of 5 pillar for climate resilience. So it's really good. So I think that can be a good learning for us, and you can share with us as well. And actually, I'm talking about that the reforestation program that you are doing. So why did you choose only like the fruit plant only? So like mango, cashew, it's more like fruit plants. So why do you choose only fruits?
It's not only fruit.
Okay.
We choose plant with the local population. We choose plant with the beneficiary. And they have what we call in French we call a plant with multiple aspects. Mango, they use mango for medicine. They use mango for as food. You know, for those who have in that area a blood pressure problems, they use mango leaf, they use mango root to have a medicine and treat themselves. Okay, yeah, those plants, those 5 variety was chosen by the local population that they have inherited from their ancestral since they was born. They use those plants for multi things. They have fruit as they consume fruit. Some even use those fruit for medicine and so on.
Yeah, actually,
And
we also promote.
And they want to promote it and create a market based on those species. And ecology, the climate of the area are favorable for the growing of this kind of species.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Tanga Marcel, and that was a good question from Ushwal. And if I want to add something to what Marcel just said, you know, Bogo is a village found in the extreme north region of Cameroon. The extreme north is the hottest region of Cameroon. We have at times temperatures up to 40, 45 degrees. So you can imagine, so the kind of plants that can do well, those are drought resistant plants. So the community accept those plants because it's not every plant that will do well here. So they take firstly drought resistant plants that are good, that has multiple uses, like Mr. Marcel mentioned during his presentation. It can be used as fruits. The leaves are used to prepare food for household consumption. The leaves or the roots are used for medicinal purposes. The seeds are also used as medicines, and at times they make oil from the seeds. So it has multiple use, and because of the drought, the nature of the zone, you know, very hot. Remember, it's in the Sahel region, you know, the characteristics of Sahelian regions. And so we need this kind of plants that has multiple use and accepted by the community and can also, you know, solve the problem of climate change. So Marcel, that was a very good one. I think One Map Africa's hand is raised up. One Mark, you have the floor.
Thank you, Quinn, for the great work. And I also want to congratulate us today for the marvelous work and the contribution. I think it's been great. It's been a great summit here. I just wanted to also contribute to what our brother just did in Cameroon. I think it's a great work. And we started something like that back last year in One Map Africa. Since our presence is in about 40 countries across Africa, we wanted to find a way to be able to assess with these climate challenges. So there was actually a research, and we actually deal with communities directly. It's a community-based project that we intend actually going into. So we wanted the community to actually donate a land, allocate a land for such projects. And when we tabled the matter, we had to go back, search for trees, carbonated trees that can actually absorb carbon. And we also had to look at the benefit of the trees for the community. Every tree has a benefit. Trees are for medication, even if they're not for fruits. I know that most trees, we could use them for medicinal purposes and all that. That we also needed a tree that can contribute to the community in terms of income and the rest. So we adapted the fruits aspect of the trees, and the community accepted that. And they were willing to actually donate or give up the land for those aspects. So my point is to encourage all of us, when we're going into such a project, we must also look for a way to be able to convince the community, because people want to see what can actually what they can benefit and the income that comes with whatever effort they make. So we must adapt such method to in helping with this fight. Project, and you don't involve the community, you don't bring the community together. You might have to employ people, pay them heavily before they come into it. But if the community accepts it, if they really want to go into it, you explain to them what this is actually doing to our planet and the effect of it, especially with the farmers, what they're going through in terms whenever it's supposed to rain, it doesn't rain. When it's supposed to, the sun has to come up, it doesn't actually, because the climate change keeps actually giving a lot of issues to farmers and all of us. Once people get the education, once people are aware of what this is happening and why this is happening, and our brother also said we should inculcate these characters into our kids so that they do not make the mistakes that so that they can also benefit heavily aside the climate change from it. So let me just end here, and then I want to say thank you to everybody. And our brother, bravo, good dog. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much, One Map, for that wonderful presentation. It's been very great listening to you. So we are going to move on to the next
I also thank their presence because I'm listening them for second time. I think she brings always an enthusiastic voice and confidence in it. Thank you. I think there is Carlos here. Carlos, are you going to present anything?
I forwarded the document to you already.
Okay, let me see.
So I think Besma from Algeria is ready to present.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Hello.
So we are going to hand over the floor to Besma Gorab. Besma is a PhD candidate on architectural, urban, and landscape heritage. So Besma, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. 1 minute, please, to share my presentation.
All right. Thank you. Besma is presenting from all the way from Algeria.
I think she is presenting, so I will stop presenting.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Besma.
So my name is Besma Ghora from Algeria, PhD candidate on architectural, urban, and landscape heritage, affiliate to Pivot Laboratory from Architecture Department. Before I begin, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I am honored to be here among esteemed speakers and the audience members. Today, I will be sharing my research finding on the topic of From Fields to Future, collaborative approaches for climate resilience agriculture in Africa, harnessing collective wisdom for sustainable solutions. So we start by introduction. In an age of urbanization and climate change, harvesting collective wisdom advocates for community engagement in developing climate resilient smart agriculture, by integrating traditional wisdom with modern innovation and participatory methodologies. The initiative seeks to empower communities to address environmental challenges while ensuring food security. So, through inclusive dialogue and collaborative efforts, the goal is to cultivate sustainable agricultural systems that thrive amidst the complexity of the rapid evolving world. Sorry. Oh. So the context and challenges that agriculture challenges in Africa and the world. Urban expansion, rapid urbanization contracts agricultural space, impacting farming activities. So loss of resource, converting farmland to urban areas, deprive rural communities for essential resources, affecting their sustainability. Climate change intensify through floods and erratic weather, directly harming agricultural output and food availability. Water scarcity, so alerted the climate pattern worsen water scarcity challenges farmers reliant on irrigation for crops. Rural vulnerability, this trends rural livelihood, regain immediate adaptive action to ensure resilience and food security amidst urbanization and climate shifts. So farmers play a crucial role in the global strategy to address the climate crisis. As steward of the land, they are both witness and actors in the impacts of climate changes on their land and livelihood. Their expertise and experience are invaluable for developing tailored and resilient solutions that promote climate-smart agriculture. They are guardians of the environment. Farmers sustainably manage land and biodiversity, preserving natural resources vital for ecosystem health. Food security champions. As primary food producers, farmers ensure stable food supplies, crucial for community well-being. Adaptive innovators. Farmers innovate to tackle climate change impacts, employing resilient techniques to safeguard agriculture. Community ensure beyond farming, they foster social cohesion and economic stability in rural areas, enriching local communities and cultural stewards. Farmers offload cultural heritage, embodying traditional knowledge essential for sustainable development. So this slide elucidates participatory methodologies like community forum, discussion groups, and awareness workshop supported by tangible instances showcasing their efficacy in fostering sustainable and resilient agricultural practices. So our mission revolves around harnessing the collective wisdom of communities, equipping them with participatory methodologies to cultivate climate-smart and resilient agriculture by engaging stakeholders at all levels, from local farmers to policymakers. We seek to co-create solutions that integrate traditional knowledge with innovative technologies, promoting sustainable agricultural practices that mitigate climate risks. So through inclusive dialogue and knowledge sharing platforms, we aim to foster a culture of collaboration and empowerment where communities actively contribute to discussion-making process and the implementation of climate-smart agricultural initiatives. By leveraging participatory approaches, we can unlock the full potential of collective intelligence, catalyzing transformative changes and enhancing adaptive capacity within communities. So for the case studies, successful case studies in climate resilience agriculture, the first one is the Green Belt Initiative in Kenya. The approaches is community-led reforestation and sustainable farming. Outcome, over 50,000 hectares of degraded land restored, co-yielded increased by 30%, benefiting 200,000 house land, and created green jobs, empowering women and youth. The second one is solar-powered irrigation in Senegal. Solar-powered irrigation system for smallholder farmers. Water usage reduced by 40%. Crop yield increased by 50%, and year-round farming improved, boosting household incomes by 25%. The third one is farmer-managed natural regeneration. So the approach is regeneration trees from existing root systems. Outcome is over 5 million hectares of land restored, improved food security for 90% of participants. So the best practices, lessons learned, is community engagement, involve local stakeholders in planning and implementation, integrated knowledge system combine traditional and modern agricultural technique, and resource efficiency, promote water saving and soil conservation practices, capacity building, train farmers in climate resilience methods, policy support, advocate for policies and support sustainable agriculture. And lessons learned, inclusive approaches yielded long-term sustainability. Local knowledge is a critical asset in designing effective solutions. For the conclusion, before the call to action, so join the movement, collaborate with us to empower communities and promote climate-smart agriculture, invest in sustainability, support initiatives that integrate traditional wisdom and modern innovation, and advocate for change, push for policies, and prioritize rural resilience and food security. Together, we can cultivate a future where agriculture thrives despite climate changes. So, in conclusion, cultivating resilience through collective action, climate resilience agriculture is not just a goal, but a necessity in Africa's future. By engaging communities, leveraging participatory approaches, and integrating traditional and modern knowledge, we can build sustainable systems that withstand climate challenges. Let us unite to harvest collective wisdom and create a resilient, food secure future for all. So for these 4 references, and thank you so much.
Isma, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Isma, all from Algeria, we are so grateful to have you this afternoon as we move towards the end of this Global South Summit on the theme transforming waste to wealth, from waste to wealth. So thank you once more, Bismarck. Can you stop sharing your screen? It was really a nice presentation. We don't know if there are many people that should have questions to ask to Bismarck for her presentation. She's concluding she's moving towards the end of her PhD research. She's based in Algeria, carrying out the research from fields to futures, collaborative approaches for climate resilient agriculture in Africa. And this, the findings she has just presented goes strongly in line with what our presenters have been saying, that for us to be able to develop Africa and the world at large, it is a collaborative approach. It is a collaborative effort. You alone cannot develop the continent. We need to come together. We have started in this summit. We are sure that there will be a collaborative approach. We are going to collaborate one with another to be able to come out with best measures, best practices for the development of the continent. And before we move on to the next speaker, or before I hand over to Dr. Renuka, who will probably have something to say, I want to come in with some few quotes on sustainability. And it's just a reminder that we all have a role to play in sustainability. Sustainability is not a goal to be reached, but it is a way of thinking. It is a way of being, a principle we must be guided by. So we should understand it's not a goal, but it is a way of thinking, a way of being, and a principle we must be guided by. So this quote emphasizes sustainability as an ongoing mindset and practices. It doesn't end, it is ongoing. And we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The way you create the problem, you cannot solve the problem that same way. We need to be, creative. Albert Einstein, that's a wonderful quote from Albert Einstein. And this quote highlights the need for innovative and sustainable solutions. Another quote is that the earth does not belong to us, but we belong to the earth. And so we must see how we can change the environment, how we can come out with sustainable practices that generations that will come after us will find the legacy, sustainable legacy that we leave behind. Another aspect of this quote is that sustainability is about ecology, economy, and equity, like we said in the morning. And this quote illustrates the broad scope of sustainability. It encompasses environmental, economic, and social dimensions. So as we continue, you have this quote in mind: we cannot solve our problems the same thinking we used when we created them. How is your mindset? So it begins with a change of mindset. We need to reframe our mindset. If your mindset was the one that you thought before that you can solve environmental problems personally, then you need to change your mindset, because it is a collaborative effort. So once more, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, all protocols respected. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dr. Renuka.
Yes, Rohit wants to speak.
Rohit
Please.
Kumar, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the Dr. Renuka and other very youth presenter. I'm very happy with the Beshma presentation. I did several concepts on this matter: traditional knowledge and the modern technology tools and participatory method is very useful for these age, because we generally new science and technology forget the traditional knowledge and skill. Although many scientists are discussing about this, but not utilized in the field. So this is a very important for the Africa and Asian country too. I visited many countries in the Africa, and that's why in Asian country. So this is the very innovative way and methodology. Thanks, Bisma, again for this presentation and research.
Thanks to you. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay.
I think Professor Manu Ibrahim is trying to join us, but he's having some difficulties. So we are not able to still see him here. So I hope that he solves the problem like it is solved on his side soon. Okay, while we are waiting for him, I will. Is there any speaker left now to speak?
I think he was the last speaker, but he's not able to join. He just sent me an audio that he's not able to join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can ask him to send the recording later, and we can upload on our web pages. So
Exactly. That's what I have proposed to you.
Sure. So I'm going to present now as Dr. Naya has been.
Hello.
Yes, who is it?
Rohit.
This is Dr. Carlos. I've shared with you my presentation.
Yes, please. Do you want to present?
I shared with you my presentation already.
You mean, is it recorded presentation?
No, it's not recorded. It's a live presentation. It's
a PPT.
Okay, and do you want to present now?
Yes, I want to present now.
Okay, is it through email?
Yes, I
Okay,
share through your email.
Let me check, please.
Can you see my presentation?
Okay, you can share your screen. You can share.
You are sharing, but I think we will see soon. It has started screen sharing, but it is not. Yes, we can see now. Yeah.
All right.
Please
okay.
go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you so much. Okay. Hello. Yes. I'm pleased to connect with this particular international network behalf of Sierra Leone. My name is Dr. Carlos Richard Sanko. I have my own organizations that I'm running. You can see yeah. So these are the two entities that I'm running. I have the investment and I have the development of the charity area. And this one's cut across, there are some countries within Africa we are also supporting, for instance, Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone for now. So today's topic is specifically going to look at promoting food and nutrition security in Sierra Leone. This is a call by His Excellency, the Republic of Sierra Leone, for us to focus on how we can provide or promote food sufficiency, food security, nutrition security in Sierra Leone. So it is the first prioritized agenda for the President of Sierra Leone, President Julius Maada Bio. And in the brackets, we locally call it feed salon. Okay, you give food to Sierra Leoneans. So this is in Sierra Leone, in terms of promoting these particular aims and objectives, there are indicators that are ready, that are there to support it. But also there are challenges that surround this particular proposal. So I will go through the presentation and then the presentation will explain itself. The topic is promoting food and nutrition security and sustainable agri-tech in Sierra Leone. So specifically came from SDG 02, Zero Hunger. Sierra Leone, a nation blessed with over 5.4 million hectares of arable agriculture land. Out of the 5.4 million hectares of fertile land available, only 15% is currently under cultivation, with an impressive 3,000 cubic meters of rainfall over half the year, World Bank report 2023. The sector faces significant challenges in achieving food and nutrition security due to the limited access to financial resources, limited irrigation and drainage infrastructure, low productivity, poor market infrastructures, rural energy, and the impact of climate change. This presentation aims to highlight the crucial role of sustainable agri-tech solutions in addressing these challenges and paving the way for more resilient and prosperous agriculture future
in Sierra Leone. This presentation aims, I have read it already, so I can flip over. So our current challenges we have in Sierra Leone in relation to short proposal we have. We have, number one, access to finance and quality input. So limited access to finance, quality seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, low soil pH, and modern farming techniques often result in low yields, hindering food production and economic growth. Number two is climate change. Droughts. We're experiencing droughts, erratic rainfall patterns, and floods disrupt farming cycles, leading to crop failure and income instability for farmers. Number three, limited access to resources and technology. Constraints of access to finance resources for the incorporation of irrigation infrastructure, agricultural mechanization, and processing and post-harvest facilities pose significant barriers to agricultural development. Four, lack of rural energy and market infrastructure. Limited rural energy supply from the national power.
Les tchadiens sont vraiment mauvais.
Shall I go on?
Yes, please go on. Please go on.
Limited, number four, lack of rural energy and market infrastructure. Limited energy supply from the national power grid or rural road network, limited transportation networks, and limited access to markets hinders the efficient movement of quality input to the farming communities, and agricultural products to the market limit farmers' income. The importance of achieving food security and nutrition in Sierra Leone. We have three thematic areas we highlighted. One, reducing hunger and malnutrition. Under it, you can see ensuring food security is paramount to reduce hunger and malnutrition, particularly among vulnerable populations. A stable food supply can contribute to improved health outcomes, especially for children, and enhance overall well-being. Economic growth and development. A thriving agricultural sector stimulates economic growth and creates employment opportunities, contributing to poverty reduction. Increased agricultural productivity can lead to higher incomes for farmers and stimulate rural development. Strengthening national resilience. A food secure national is better equipped to withstand shocks and challenges, such as climate change, economic downturns, and political instability. Investing in sustainable agricultural strength, national resilience, and ensure food availability for future generations. Overview of sustainable agri-tech solutions. We have the precision farming method. We have, number two, soil health and fertility management. Water efficiency irrigation. Number four, renewable energy. And number five is post-harvest technologies. You can find the details here. So precisely, we look at precision farming and soil health and fertility management. Under it, we have data collection and analysis is very, very key. 2, we have variable rates application. That's also another key. Organic farming practices, integrated pest management control is another thing that we recommend. Water efficient and irrigation system. Under it, we have drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, rainwater harvest and storage, water management technologies. For renewable energy for agricultural operations, of course, solar power is recommended highly, the wind power and the biomass. These are all power sources that can help to improve or promote food security. So we look at post-harvest storage and processing technologies. So we have the technology under it. We have the cold storage, the drying technologies, the processing facilities. And of course, you have the description of each component. When you go through it, you can read. And then the benefits that you will get when you follow this strategy. Capacity building and farmer training programs through the farmer school system is also another strategy that we recommended. 1, technical skills training. Number 2, business management skills. Number 3, access to information and resources. Number 4, community engagement and collaboration. So in my conclusion, my dear brothers and sisters, for us to promote food security, not only Sierra Leone, but this model can also be replicated in the rest of African continent. We say that we're calling for action. Investing in a sustainable agri-tech solutions is crucial for achieving food security and improving nutrition in Sierra Leone by empowering farmers with knowledge, technology, and access to resources. We can unlock the potential of the agricultural sector and create a more sustainable, resilient food system. His Excellency, the President Julius Maada Bio, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, through his national flagship agenda program, Feeds Alone, called for collaborative efforts involving government agencies, private sector organizations, development partners, CSOs, and local communities to promote innovation, foster sustainable agricultural practices, and ensure a brighter future for Sierra Leone food security. Dear friends, you can find my bio down. You can look at it that describes, because I am a network sector that is doing a lot in Africa and doing a lot for so many countries. So I am pleased to conclude that our country, Sierra Leone, is yearning to network with all of you to ensure we transform Sierra Leone. We have the land availability is there. Already I've told you, so we can make use of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation, Dr. Carlos Richard, all the way from Sierra Leone. We are so grateful, and it was a pleasure and privilege to listen to this last and final presentation of the day of the summit. You've actually crowned it all, talking about food security in Sierra Leone. And I think the aspect or the issue of food security is a great deal that if all countries of the world, we can collaborate, we are going to solve a great problem, because all the problem of climate change that we are talking about affects in a very great way food security. And so if we can come together and collaborate, we are going to solve the problem of food security in our nations, in our regions, around us, in our communities. So before we go to some closing remarks from some partners we have here in our midst, I just want to acknowledge all those who presented. From yesterday, we started with a presentation from Sir Vinod from India, talking about carbon credits and carbon credits for sustainable practices. We moved on to presentation from Mr. Ebune Modika, who spoke on plastic waste management in the southwest region of Cameroon. Mr. Muguru David did not end there. He went further by presenting urban solid waste management, which is very important in our communities. Dr. Anit Janagam also spoke on advancing sustainable practices through artificial intelligence. So you see that it's actually a summit that encompasses a whole lot of domains. And Dr. Naya also spoke about the place of policies in sustainable development. I think Prince Ajinga has something. Is it a question, or Prince Ajinga has something to say?
Thank you so much. Not a question, just to plead with you that you create space for our two Christian. He has been struggling since yesterday to join and give his presentation. Before you close, please.
Okay, I want to.
Sure, please go ahead. Avantu Christian, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go on.
Please invite them.
So I want to, Christian, we now invite you to give your presentation. We are normally supposed to end at 4, so I want to, Christian, we are still within our time frame. So over to you, Mr. I want to, Christian.
Okay, greetings and good afternoon, everybody. Just like we have just heard, I've been trying to join in since yesterday, and I just spoke with the technician, and it looks like there was a technical issue with my laptop. So I really regret, in short, missing out all the rich information that has been disseminated since yesterday. And I really wish I found out earlier that I should have notified you people. But I'm hoping that, of course, in the subsequent conferences and summits, of course, it'll be a lot better. I have just sent in the laptop for repairs. So right now I'm working with my phone from my phone. And so please, ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time and the very last, I plead that you please permit me do this presentation by audio. I think as soon as that laptop is repaired, I'll send in my presentation. I don't know if that's okay. Moderator, is that okay for you and every other person?
It is okay. Please go ahead. If you want to send your slides to me, then I can open it for you, but that is not compulsory. You can go orally as well. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Renuka. You have tried a lot also for me to come in. It was a technical fault for my end. I deeply apologize for that, please. Okay, I'll go straight into my presentation. But before I do, I'll just let you know who I am. I am Awantu Christian Funui, the Executive Coordinator for the Youth Network for Climate Action in Cameroon. It's a network of over 25 organizations who are into the protection of the environment as a whole, and climate action, who advocate for climate action. As I speak with you, I'm currently at the office space. We're about to have a meeting, a General Assembly meeting, and they are so happy that I'm participating in this particular summit. And so I'm going to be presenting to you this topic which has to do with leveraging on the creativity of the youths to catapult the transition to the clean energy, to transition to the clean energy quest. And why did I come up with that topic? Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you very easily that, especially those of you from Cameroon, you can agree with me that we are in a highly bureaucratic system of governance that does not really give room for young people to express, their ideas. And so I came up with this topic because it is something that I'm trying to advocate now for, because we have so many youths who have been able to create something that can foster climate action. So many of them, but yet year in, year out, the NDCs, the nationally determined contributions of the government, of course, the figures see that there is some progress, but we working in the field know that there is very little progress that is taking place. And so I said, let me share this idea with you. It could probably be one of the reasons why the nationally determined contributions of Cameroon and probably most other countries all over the world are really not met yet in year, and yet they go for the various COPs, and they go there without much to say or much to present as far as progress towards meeting their nationally determined contributions are concerned. And so let me talk about the youth factor, which has to do with empowering the next generation. Young people are adept to technology and digital tools, making them ideal for implementing new clean energy solutions. And at the same time, there are creative thinkers, that because the youth are often at the forefront of innovative ideas, bringing fresh perspectives to energy challenges. And at the same time, they are also passionate advocates. They usually call them the Gen Z, and sometimes the millennials. They are passionate about environmental protection and sustainability, and they happen to understand those concepts much better than our fathers who are on their way out. They are quitting the stage, and some of these concepts seem to sound like myths to them. And so bridging, my next topic is bridging the skills gap, upskilling youth for clean energy. That the first one we can harness is technical training. We can offer vocational training programs for I'm talking about when I talk about we here, I'm talking about us in the organizational space and the government, specifically here, the government of Cameroon. This is a proposal that I think I presented this a week ago to the Ministry of Environment and Nature Protection. So I think that the very first thing that we have to do is technical training. We have to offer vocational training programs for renewable energy technologies, such as solar and wind power, and hydropower too, which are some of the resources that Cameroon is highly, ladies and gentlemen, highly endowed in, and yet those resources are highly untapped and unharnessed. We can also work on digital literacy, which has to do with developing digital literacy programs to help youth to navigate energy-related data and platforms. And then we can move over now to the main one, which is entrepreneurial skills. We can encourage youth entrepreneurship in clean energy through mentorship and business development support. Now, what do I mean, ladies and gentlemen? I'm talking about an official platform created by the government where they encourage the youths who have those creative ideas in what has to do with wind energy, or solar energy, or green energy, bioenergy, whichever of them the youths are able to come up with ideas. They have mentors who are in charge of training them with these technical skills, the digital skills, and then the entrepreneurial aspect of it, which has to do with coming up with a prototype which can be tested and then multiplied for application. Because here in here, I can tell you that in our organization, in the Youth Network for Climate Action, just 2 months ago, we actually organized a competition, a national competition where we brought in youths and youth organizations and we were able to shortlist 7 of those innovations who already have prototypes. And those prototypes, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be mesmerized at what they could do. I'll just give you 2 or 3 examples of them. The first prize of that particular competition that we organized, they came up with what they named the clean drop tackles. The clean drop tackles, which solves the problem of water scarcity by using clean energy to make clean and potable water accessible in rural communities in Cameroon. they actually brought that prototype and it was tested right there. And we saw that no matter how dirty water is, it could use solar energy to, make the water clean, portable, and accessible as soon as possible. The second prize winners came up. They were able to convert. They came up with a prototype that converts agricultural waste into clean energy, as in it just suffices to gather agricultural waste, no matter what they are, as long as it is dry biomass. They put them inside the prototype, inside the machine, and then while it's burning, it is converting that heat energy into electrical energy. The third winners, they came up with a prototype that is like a bus, it's like an urban transport, which promotes, which redefines sustainable mobility. That's urban mobility. Wherein that bus, as it runs, we have small solar, small wind, we have wind power turbines that turn and then convert that wind energy into that mechanical energy into electrical energy, and that is what powers the bus to move. And they were able to demonstrate that during the competition. So I'm just giving these examples just as tips, ladies and gentlemen, for us to see that youths are actually doing something which is quite commendable, which of course, if well harnessed, especially by the state machinery, can actually help to contribute to the quest and the fight towards clean energy and sustainable communities. And so this one has to do with fostering youth-led innovation in renewable energy through hackathons. We could organize hackathons where young innovators compete to develop clean energy solutions like what we just did. We could organize, we could come up with incubators or incubating centers. These are some of the proposals that I made, where we establish incubators to support youth-led clean energy startups and provide funding opportunities as soon as prototypes have been tested and proven to be able to contribute towards the fight for clean energy. We could also organize competitions, hold competitions to recognize regionally and nationally, where we could recognize and reward innovative clean energy solutions from young people. And then from there, they could be taken to those incubating centers where their prototypes can be fine-tuned for subsequent funding. And then that takes me now to the heading. I also dealt inclusive policies, amplifying diverse youth voices. And so there we could I talked about equity and access, where we could ensure equitable access to clean energy, education, and opportunities for all the youths, first of all. And then we could talk about representation, where we increase, that's the government increases the representation of diverse youths in energy decision-making bodies and probably even meetings. And then I also talked about empowerment, how the youths can be empowered, especially the marginalized youths or marginalized communities, to lead the clean energy transition. Because I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, very proudly, that the first, two of the first three winners came from very rural communities, very local communities, from very local schools where nobody could imagine that something good would come up from there. And so they shocked everybody with what we were able to come up from. A prototype with, very locally made material, but that was able to function so well in solving the clean energy crisis. Okay, that takes me to this one of the last topics, which is collaborative ecosystems, where we have government youth partnerships. We could also go ahead to create advisory councils, where we establish youth advisory councils that provide feedback on clean energy policy. They provide that feedback on clean energy policy to the government based on the very close relationship that exists between the youths and the government, of course, through the incubating centers, like I just mentioned, and also the competitions and hackathons that I just mentioned, and of course those other national fora that we are expecting the government to champion in order to promote the quest and the struggle towards clean energy and urban clean urban cities. Okay, that takes me now to the very last topic, which has to do with harnessing the digital savvy of Gen Z. Of course, the generation we call the Gen Z for sustainability. How can we harness the digital savvy of the Gen Z for sustainability? The first, of course, I could think of, which all of us can easily say, is the social media. The government could leverage on social media, and of course, maybe even through organizations, the government could be working directly, or maybe they could decide to work in partnership with organizations that are in the climate space. They could, harness social media, where they could leverage on the social media to engage youth people, young people, in clean energy campaigns. The government, in doing that, they could identify the youths who are passionate about clean energy, and they could bring them to those platforms like, hackathon sessions or conferences and seminars that the government usually organizes, where they could, dish out more information about the other opportunities that are available for them in terms of innovation in clean energy. So I also thought of influencer marketing, where the government could partner with youth influencers to promote clean energy initiatives, because influencers have, of course, they are called, they really have the power on social media because they have huge followings. So the government could partner with them to promote some of those clean energy initiatives. Of course, we also think of digital platforms where we could develop user-friendly digital platforms to connect youth with clean energy resources and opportunities. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that I have a lot to share with you as far as clean energy is concerned, and what we are doing here in Cameroon. We just organized a webinar on Sunday. Some of us here present were there, and you could hear what some of our youths who are in the movement, the Youth Network for Climate Action, are doing back here in Cameroon. I can tell you, I think I can just conclude for the sake of time that there is too much that the youths in Cameroon can offer. And I believe it is the same for most of our countries, for those of us who are here present. I think all we need to do is show to the government that this is the potential. I think during the last conference, the last Clean Energy Conference, we called it the Wise Energy Transition Fellowship. We had a good number of youths who were here present and who were able to share with the whole world, the ministers there who were there represented. So what the young people, we had youths there of 15 years and below. I think the third prize winners we had students who were just 15 and 16 years old, and they were the ones who came up with the urban transport innovation, and they were able to mesmerize the government representatives who were there. So I think that if the government is able to see through the platforms that the NGOs, of course, like those of us here present, are able to offer, where we are like the nexus, we are like the bridge, between the young innovators and the government. I believe that we could also, through those kind of platforms, encourage the government and let them understand that these are the people who have the power to make this change, and all we need to do is have a well-organized system where these young innovators are well managed, they are well incubated, in order for us to be able to come up with a well-matured project that can actually foster the clean energy transition. So, ladies and gentlemen, I could go on, but for the sake of time, please let me end here for now. Thank you so much for listening to me, to my audio without my presentation. I promise you that in the subsequent presentations, everything would have been said and good to go. Thank you so much. Moderator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awantu Christian from Cameroon. We have been blessed with your presentation. It's actually very rich, talking about clean energy and many other associated things. So we move now to the end of the summit. But before we end, we just want some closing remarks. Our Minister of Culture and Historical Legacy is right here from the state of the African diaspora. She has something to say. From there, we're going to move to the next person. Thank you once more. Welcome, Her Excellency Marie-Ange Billot.
Thank you. Yes, I am Marie-Ange Billot, Queen IG, Empress Adjauto Dodo. I am the Minister of Historical Legacy, the co-chair of the Royal Chamber of the State of the African Diaspora. I am a partner of UFA. I am the founder, one of the founders of the Royal Chambers. I am Gsfn Global Chair. We have got land for agriculture, for project villages with botanical gardens, food gardens, animal for food production, poultry farms, animal farms, etc. Swimming pool. We are at the preliminary research period, and the villages will be all over Africa. We have got something like 70 to 100 villages to create. And we would like to ask for help. We will have villages in the northern, southern, western, eastern regions, and also in the diaspora, the 6th region of Africa. So we call Gsfn, UFA, and all of you to help us build the best villages for sustainable development in all areas, such as architecture, creation of botanical gardens, indigenous knowledge, twin to education, clean energy, etc. for our communities, farming, carbon credits, etc. Please contact Ambassador of SOAD Prince Ajinga, Justin Tanii, if you are interested to work with us for our villages. Actions are expected next year, and we will have funds from the UN Alliance for Sustainable Development. It was really interesting to hear from you. Great jobs, well done. Congratulations to all of you, and looking forward to working with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are encouraged with your presence, and also with your special invitation. We were able to see the Honorable Prime Minister and other excellencies. So we are very grateful to you to spending these 2 days. It's a long time to spend here, and so we are very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We are so grateful. So, like I said yesterday and announced today also, that we're going to be having a special surprise announcement, and we are soon going to get to that place. And as we conclude this transformative gathering, let us remember that generally our actions today shape the world we will leave behind. The challenges we face are immense, but so is our collective strength. Today, in this summit, we have the power to drive sustainable change, to protect our planet, and to ensure a prosperous future for all. Let this summit not be the end, but the beginning of our renewed commitment to a greener, more equitable world. The responsibility is ours, and the time is now. Thank you very much. Dr. Renuka has a very special surprise for us, a surprise announcement, after which Ambassador Prince Ajiga Justin of Union Farms of Africa will take the floor. Over to you, Dr. Renuka.
Thank you, Dr. Nayar. You have been a very, very, proactive for this summit and hardworking day and night. So thank you very much. You also traveled from far away to give up, recording about our summit. So it's an excellent work. It's a good job that you have done, and we are very pleased to have you all the time here. So thank you very much. So let me just share this presentation, which may not be surprise to everyone. I did announce before, but now it is going to be this month. We are going to focus on this, which is a worldwide program. And so let me share that. So I have just named Gsfn Green Awards, but whoever wants to add their name, it is open to add the name. You can personalize this for your own benefits. But however, and again, uh, Green Awards is a program which I will keep on explaining through this presentation. It is not the award that you get just by application, like you put an application and you get an award. You have to do some action for that. And why it is necessary? Because it combines global and national policies. Like we have seen, there are plenty of global and national policies. They have been strategized through NDCs, that is national determined contributions. And Paris Agreement is definitely a priority in NDCs, that we need to lower down the carbon emissions. And we have been speaking about carbon credits and all that. And we have a long discussion. I mean, we have discussed various areas of carbon credit and other things, that how we can reach that target of carbon credit or lower carbon or net zero. Uh, Actually, there is a huge work to be done on the ground level. And therefore, I think this program will bring something like that. And it also combines all the aspects that has been discussed so far in this program, this summit. So there are national actions all about this. So I won't go through them. And of course, we want to achieve sustainable development goals along with what we want to achieve as a net zero. And these are also critical, because whatever the development we want to do, we don't want to do as a traditional way. We want to do it in sustainable way. And the efforts to eradicate poverty or, uh, having some sustainable trajectory into all these areas, like all the 17 goals, they are so much needed. And uh, and when you look at several documents, many other documents along with this one emphasize that the role of SMEs, that is small, medium, and enterprises, is so much critical in achieving sustainable development goals. And we have 90% or more enterprises which fall in this. So it is very important to target them. So empowering local community through environmental initiatives in collaboration of sustainable future will align to achieve NDCs and SDGs. So I propose green awards, and these green awards can be in any sector, any activity. They could be, these are just example, but they can go on more and more areas that you feel. And why I do this, because I have been a part of one Green Award program, which was called the Mayor of London Green Procurement Award. And I was in the very starting phase of that award, and I was auditor there. And we saw that these type of programs succeed in not only advocating people for good practices, but also having an impactful outcome. So I have been a part of that. I have experience of that. And since then, I have been advocating this. And therefore, I want to take it to each and every corner of the world. What it will do, that it will help any sort of business to increase their excellence in operational efficiency, human resources, innovation, sustainable practices, compliance, and digital transformation. And it can be like this is what you need to seize the opportunity to enhance your brand, increase your community impact, and you can become a champion of sustainability. As I see here, many of them mention that I'm a chair of Gsfn. Why they take a pride to mention that they are a chair? Because it emphasizes their commitment towards that area, towards their expertise, that I'm committed to do something around it and impact the society. And that is what these awards will do. As soon as you sign up, you will be the owner of that activity, and to responsibility will come over that, and you will be able to do an impactful actions that will take you to the impactful outcome. And so here I have proposed the project duration of 12 months. And ideally what I want to do is, in first year, I want to set up a ground level work, foundational work, and a global platform to demonstrate that these are the people who want to commit for sustainable development and operational excellence. And so we want to put some very comprehensive framework, such as we will evaluate each and every business performance, operational excellence, and product and service provision should be like towards the best practices. And here you might think that, okay, I don't have that business. I don't have business. So how am I going to put? Even with the design of the business, even with the activity of the business, even with the community activity, you can put these all good qualities into it. Because there was a huge concern about whether the carbon credit really impact the local people. And it can only impact if we have that operational excellence, if our product and service provision is directly targeted to whom it should reach. And therefore, we need to adopt best practices and highest operational standards. So we want to actually develop a manual, which can be like we have the basic manual for everything in the world, like what should be the health and safety manual or what should be the environmental manual. But these all manual, when they come with ISO or some other accreditable programs, they become very expensive, and people don't try to go there because they think that they would get into clutch of regulatory regime or framework, and also they are worried about the cost. And that is what I want to take away from here. I want them to gradually be consistent in owning their own goodness, owning the change of transformative journey, and learn from that. And not only learn for today, learn for future, that how they can be competent, how they can be resilient to see the forward scenarios created through their own activity, and how they can manage them for better for themselves and for the society, each way, like for the nature, for themselves, for the society. We have done so far all these things, but we never thought about the impact to nature. We have also lost several societal values, and these, or maybe cultural values, these all should not be lost. We have to be mindful of many other areas that come along with the quality or environment and other things. So that is what it is trying to say here. And therefore, the goal of GSFN is to help signatory continuously improve their sustainable practices, performance, address existing challenges, and align their operations with industrial best practices. And how it will work. GSFN would be a technical partner to several other international partners around the world, and these partners will also lead on, connect with country level partners, and then it will again connect to the sub-country level partners, and then going to the sub-country level partners, and so on. And that is what we want, a cascading structure. And in this structure, all will do, because all will contribute to each one of their activities, because if one of them does not contribute, no one will achieve. And therefore, each one, the responsibilities will be shared, the risk will be shared, and the knowledge will also be shared. And that is what we want through this. And what will happen that country level chairs will connect with signatories. Signatories are the people who want to improve on businesses or activities, and country level chairs are among them, or they are the external people who want to help them, and therefore they will get award. And again, what happens that the award will encourage others to get an award. So it is like complementary to each other, but also competitive in a sense that what innovation I am doing. But everyone will remain on a same level. Say, for example, they do one activity at a time, better performance in one activity at a time, then they will get one award, maybe bronze or silver. And if someone does furthermore better than what others have done, then they would get gold. It may happen that many of them think that I have already done plenty, and we will see that is that true picture what they are having, and that is what we want to see. So it is about encouraging people, especially to partner with each other, learn from each other, and to also share the responsibility of excellence with each other. So key evaluation areas are plenty. Here I have written few of them. It could be ranging from health and safety, environmental sustainability, facility management, material management, manufacturing excellence, regulatory compliance, organizational culture, innovation, resource management, customer service, community engagement, sustainable development, impact, local impact, global impact. And it could be still ethics, governance structure, social responsibility, digital transformation, accessibility, inclusivity, and environmental management, carbon management, and so on. It can go on. This list can go on. So there would be assessment and review process. We will first, the people who sign to this program will be called signatories. So first of all, we will send out a form for people to sign up. Whoever are interested will be called for a meeting to board on it, and so they will be sent another form to get further details of their activities. And when they do the first round of that form, and if we think that they have filled up enough information which allows them to do allows them to establish that they have carried out the desktop study of that first signatory process, then they will start with the bronze level already. And then we will keep on promoting an action plan in each of them, and then they will progress on that with a particular time scale, with the particular indicators, and so on. And that will keep them progressing towards silver and gold award. And so there are 3 awards, and I have also already prepared some examples of how we will be judging people, or how they can structure their documents, how they can prepare their documents, and so on. And we have also put some examples of scoring level. However, this all would be as a pilot project for first year. We will learn from this pilot project if there are any necessary, because there would be a necessary to change something here and there, depending on the context of the local country, local activities, and so on, and we will do that. And there will be an award decision matrix, and award technical assessment strategy. All these has been already published on the website, and I won't go through several things here. However, I want to say what will happen that when the signatories sign up, we want two structures to form, like there are two alternatives that we can move forward. One is this can be embedded through the university. That is, one student, whoever wants to be a part of this, has to choose one business, has to find out one business of his interest. And the business, student, and the technical expert, these three will form a team and go for the award. And each one will work towards achieving that award. And the micro, I have just given you a few examples that these signatories, like because the student is offering a free or maybe a free service, we can take some micro enterprise monthly or yearly price depending on the country and depending on the sector, depending on the activity they do. For examples, we have already onboarded like 15 schools in Kenya. They have started with us for free because we are looking, they are in terrible condition and they want to enhance their sanitation. So that is the first project we have embedded. We have also got 10 schools from Bangladesh, and they are prepared to give us £10 per year, and that would follow up. So these are the way we will depend on what they can afford, because this is total program which wants to bring equity, which is underpinning the equity principle. That, and in India, we have also signed up 2 big companies, and they are going to pay £1,000 per year. So that is what we want to do here. And so many universities, maybe they can do for free because they are already associated with industry partners, and they can immediately get hold of a group of industries and group of students and start this program within the fees of the student already which they have received, or maybe the membership they have received from the industry. So we will work accordingly depending on the context of what we are having. Each case will be dealt individually. And that is what we are trying to do here. And so these all countries have already signed up, and we have got school, buildings, enterprise, many different areas who have shown interest. Still some discussion is going on. And these are few things that are immediately needed by people, and we will be working on these things. And that's all from me. So you are invited to join this and make this successful. It is a win-win project for everyone.
So thank you very much, Dr. Renuka. That was good. A lot of interesting projects, a lot of interesting initiatives that I think nobody here present will want to miss out this opportunity. So before we proceed, I just have a short, like, the Minister of International Cooperations from the State of African Diaspora is calling on all maybe international partners who may want to enter into a bilateral cooperation with the State of the African Diaspora to kindly reach out to the Minister of International Cooperation for the State of African Diaspora through Her Excellency Marie-Ange Biot. Her contact has been shared, and the LinkedIn address also has been shared. So thank you very much. We're going to hand over to Prince Ajinga Justin, the CEO of Union Farms of Africa, for a closing remark.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been a moment I've never wanted to come, because it has been It has been an inspiring time for me with you people, and I'm thinking that a lot has been said, and it's up to you and me to go out there and make the difference. I want to really, really appreciate His Excellency, our Prime Minister, Dr. Louis Justin, for his continuous support to us to have come to this point in time. It was not very easy, like I said in the beginning. I really thank the whole team of the State of the African Diaspora, especially our Minister of Cultural Heritage and the co-founder of the Royal Chambers. She has been very strong since we started this preparation. I think she has been there every moment, late nights. I'm really, really appreciating you for that understanding. To my team, especially Dr. Yusufa, I want to say thank you so much for the numerous sacrifices. Dr. Naya, you know, would have had a good event without you being there, like the only lone lady. So thank you, like I said. So I continue to appreciate even all those who have taken time to join us. It has not been very easy, so we have not previewed issuing certificates for this event. But out of the joy that is coming from my heart, we have consulted and we feel that there will be a certificate of participant for all the participants who have sacrificed to stay with us. And like we and I know we can do it, and we are already doing it because with our which has already set the pace, our market to commence, we are going to rule. So for those who are still thinking that it's a dream, it's time you change your mindset and you join. Remember, everything happened in a particular time. Like Dr. Runuka once said, maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, nobody will talk about carbon credit again. Or even if they will be talking about carbon credit, maybe it will be a regulatory, a mandatory market. But now that the market is voluntary, it's better for us to get something out of it. That as Africans, we have depended a lot on the government, but we must understand that the government cannot do everything for us. It is our own single responsibility to set the pace, even if we were not those to benefit, maybe the generation to come. Because one of the challenges I've had talking to people is, Prince, you are doing this. What if it takes 50 years? What if it takes 10 years? What if you die? So those are some of the things that we must get them off our mind, because somebody must set the pace, somebody must be the Messiah, somebody must be the Jesus Christ for others to enjoy. So we are the chosen ones. We have to set the ball rolling. Our doors are open, and I just hope Mr. Christian is here, who really, really want to connect with you, with your youth network, to see exactly what needs to be done so that we can start implementing some of those prototypes that you have developed. If you were there yesterday, you would have listened to a lot of partners who have similar interests like what you are doing. So we need to connect, and we see the way forward with regards to that. And for Lead Africa, I will not go without saying that thank you very much. They have been so engaged from the first day we met them till today. We have been on the journey together. And for our host, Compressor in Marwa, we are equally extending our appreciation. You have been so wonderful with us, and let's keep connecting as we are calling that tomorrow we are going to start issuing out certificates. I'm sure we have everybody's email address. Those who have not had their email address, I think they can drop it in the chat box. We'll be putting them gradually, and we'll be announcing the way forward. And I'm thinking that all of you who are in this platform, we are going to serve as the foundation for this. carbon initiative. Thank you very much. Go well and enjoy your lives. And as you plan to turn your waste to wealth, remember that it's not only for you. As Dr. Naya rightly said, the world we live on does not belong to us. Remember, we are just doing it because we know people will come after us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prince Ajinga Justin Tani, for such a wonderful closing remark. Thank you to all our participants. And also, I forgot to announce, we have been having throughout this summit, the Minister of International Cooperation of the State of the African Diaspora. She has been present here with us, and she just wants to say a word maybe for 1 minute or so. Her Excellency, you're welcome on board.
Greetings, everybody. I would like to observe all protocols, and thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Naya. I'm definitely not going to overwhelm you with time, but more than anything, I just want to salute all the organizers of this meeting. I hope I'm forgiven that I'm not putting in the video, at least.
You are forgiven.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to just leave in this platform my take home for what has been talked about. There are 3 elements, and that has actually, came very strong to me during the presentation, and unfortunately I couldn't attend yesterday. These 3 elements are talking about, 1, the piece of land. I like to salute this team, because when you speak about the piece of land, you are talking about your future. We need to be grounded. As a state of African diaspora, we are the digital state. We have everything, we have all the tools, but we also need the ground. So this platform is actually giving us that opportunity, just like my queen said. By the way, I greet you, my queen, and Dr. Takure, and our ambassador, Prince Justin. I really do appreciate you. And the other one is the issue of mineral resources. Mineral resources, all of these elements, they are talking to the bill that I'll be talking about. And I'd like to invite this platform also to support, exactly, because the vision is really going towards the same purpose. And when I'm talking about the mineral resources, without those mineral resources, we're talking about the climate change, we're talking about the renewable platforms and stuff like that. So all these things, they talk to the same bill. So if you allow us as SOAT and empower us, we can be able to help in making sure that there is a conclusive and successful emancipation of the Pan-Africanists and the African communities and the world at large. So it is why I'm actually thanking you. And I thought, just in conclusion, the 3rd one is financial wealth, of course, which can come in forms of carbon credits. So it is why I'm actually applauding you and also appealing to you that let us work together. My purpose here is one thing and one thing only, to make sure that the collaborations, the bilateral agreements are met. That is where I'm just putting myself on the ground just to say I'm here to help. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so much. I don't know if you remember, we have been connected through LinkedIn from long.
Yes.
It's pleased to have you here. But before all go, let's take a group photograph, because we forgot